Throughout life, we're presented with situations that force us to make decisions on a regular basis, in turn slowly shaping who we are over time. Every path taken, big or small, will have some kind of impact, and surprisingly this can go unnoticed because of repetition. People don't even realize what they're doing because they are so trained to think and act a certain way. There will always be a constant bombardment of influence, chipping away pieces until the only thing left to do is replace each missing part, thus creating a more acceptable you. That's what it's really about after all, right? Meeting the standards of others and gaining that oh-so-sweet approval, even if it means becoming someone else in the process. So many individuals are desperate to remain comfortable and safe that they will drudge through each day in mental agony, pretending to be happy, all while telling themselves that the alternatives are worse, further justifying the insanity. We're taught that this is the way things are, that all this stress and misery is part of being a mature adult. Well, this is only true if you make it that way. In life, we have two choices: ferocity or madness. Either we resist the forces that are bearing down on us, or we continue on a journey of fake smiles and resentment. When I was much younger, I remember times when I was around the older men in my life as they talked among themselves, and there was always one thing said that baffled me. Whenever plans were being made, it was common for one of these guys to state that they have to check with the boss first. Even to this day, I occasionally catch a conversation about rifle season and who all is going out. It's not uncommon for one of these guys to jokingly point out that so-and-so won't be participating because the boss doesn't allow it. Growing up, it took me a little bit to realize what these men were referring to. It was their women. These titans that I looked up to, who were the living embodiment of strength, grit, and masculinity itself, still put a leash on, no different than a dog. But is that really a big deal? Yes, because it's the perfect example of someone that's been programmed to kneel. If you're already submitting that easily, it says a lot about you as a person. And the odds are pretty good that you're also domesticated in ways that go beyond giving in to what your significant other wants you to be. Our entire lives we're raised on the idea that our purpose is to contribute to society, even if it means sacrificing happiness in the process. And if you deviate from that, then you're a loser. Nobody wants to be a loser. But almost everyone is willing to tolerate an existence they don't want. That concept is mind-boggling. It's literal madness. A lot of people will disagree with this notion and argue that they're content and truly happy. I respect anyone that finds purpose in enduring hardship, as long as they don't indulge in escapism. Because if that's the case, then their entire identity is built around a lie. You can pretend to be high and mighty all you want, but when your reaction to dealing with stress involves turning to drugs, binge-watching TV and YouTube, getting lost in video games, relying on the hope of an afterlife devoid of pain and suffering, or any type of distraction, it shows that you can't handle reality. So you'll continue living your mundane life, working a job you're sick of so you can retain permission to exist, and as a reward, you'll get to escape a little in your downtime. Also, you'll more than likely buy a bunch of garbage you don't actually need, but it will make you feel warm and tingly inside. It's a very simple equation. Good doggies get treats. So how do you break this cycle? First, you must become aware of what's occurring, and then stop being so submissive. Obligations are honestly a part of life, but that doesn't mean you have to serve everyone. Do not take on responsibilities that you don't want or are not ready for. It's okay to be selfish with your personal goals. The idea of selflessness is out of control. A little bit of that is fine, but what's the point of putting everyone else before you if it makes you a slave? Your happiness is important too. Compromises are necessary, but a line needs to be drawn. So like I said before, you have two choices. One or the other. There is no in-between, and the path chosen is entirely up to you. Hey everybody, Thanks for watching my video. Please like and subscribe, and if you could, tap the little bell icon so you're notified every time I come out with new content. In this video, I ended up condensing multiple points, and a lot of that is going to be covered in future videos. But the thing that I wanted to stress and get across to everyone is that you should never allow others to shape who you are or to back you into a corner and make you do things that you don't want to do. And I'll say it again. It's mainly about not submitting. And I know that it can be tough not to do that, especially in today's world. But it's important not to give in because you're just going to end up being miserable. You're going to lose your mind, and things are just going to turn out bad for you. And although it may not be easy, you can start making changes one step at a time. You don't have to do everything at once, but you need to do something. So what I invite you to do is go down in the comments and share if you feel as though you're being influenced to be someone else, or you're being nudged into living a way that you're unhappy with. And I also encourage you to share something a little more uplifting. Maybe you're in a situation like this, or you've been in a situation like this and you've been resisting it. So share what you did or what you're doing. Alright, that's it from me. Until you hear from me again, have a good one.